Hi everyone and welcome for this new tutorial. This time we are going to paint the Chaos Warriors. So I don't really enjoy painting these miniatures, but at the end I'm pretty happy about the result and I hope that will be the same for you. We are going to go always in the same way. Some very simple level only with speed paint. One level I'm going to push with my brush all the different highlight and degradé. And at the end, we are going to push a little bit more with some airbrush, and you can use some part or all of the different step, depending on your level. By the way, you can always support me on Patreon, so you can have access to more tutorial and more elements to have a better understood of my techniques. And you can always push a like on this video and a comment if you have any kind of question, or if, for example, you have some advice or feedback about my tutorial. Thanks again, and let's go for the paint. So I'm going to try something. It's going to directly use these three paints to paint all the miniatures. The green black will be on the armor, who are going to be very dark. The fire giant orange is going to be on the shield, on the eyes, just to create some OSL-like, and the blood red will be on the leather in the back of the miniatures. So remember to use this kind of palettes just to be sure the water and the speed paint is not going to be dry very quickly due to the absorption of the paper if you use paper. So I put my black, my orange and my red. I'm going to start by the orange because it's a more lightful color, and that's going to reduce the surface I need to reach with the other color. So I'm going to use the red now for the tissue, and at the end I'm going to use the black for all the rest of the miniatures. So remember to use, when you apply this kind of paint, to apply in the best way, so you can charge a lot your brush and apply on all the different surfaces in 1 or 2 times. The best will be in 1 time, but as you can see, sometimes my brush is not enough large, so I apply step by step like that. There are some few parts is going to be pretty hard to reach, and in that case I'm going to try to reach only what I need. As you can see, after I remove the part, I do mistake. But after that, I'm going to apply some black, and probably this will be not necessarily very present. And I finish with the black, and with the black I'm going to apply everywhere on the armor. So after I apply all the different speed paint color, I'm going to apply some few matte varnish, just a little bit, just to have some surfaces more easy to look and more easy to paint for the next step, for the level 2. So to increase this the level of this painting, we are going to first pushing more element on all the non-metallic metal parts. I'm going to do a very lightful dry brush on all the parts we are going to take the more highlight. I use some Artis Opus medium dry brush paint brush, and I'm going to apply that on all the parts we are going to take the more light. So now with some white from Procolor, I'm going to apply directly on the different surfaces we are going to take the more light, my highlight directly. So with the side of my brush and a lot on the different edges to create a really strong non-metallic metal effect. So now we are going to come back with some black color and create more contrasts into our non-metallic metal. So during this process, never forget to preserve your white, your more strong white color. It's going to be very important because you need to have very strong contrast, and for that you need to have perfectly clean point of white and perfectly strong part in black. So now we are going to pushing more shadow with dark sea blue on the cape, just by pushing into the recesses and into the down part of the cape. Remember to dilute a lot your dark sea blue because it's a very covering color. And now with some Evilson Scarlet, I'm going to pushing more highlight on all the up of the cape. In that way, we are going to have more volume on all these different parts. So during the process, I'm going to use very diluted red around the zone reached by some other source lighting and make it very diffusion just by applying this very diluted color all around this OSL part. As you can see, it's very diluted, and that's going just to create more diffusion of light effects. In order to finish that, we are going to come back just with some few very strong yellow and applying that on all the different other source lighting, but into the different surfaces, just to create very more strong light into this part. I come back with some Trollseller Orange just to pushing a little bit more highlight on my cape. And after that I will just add some few white into the ivory now, into the orange, just to have just 1 point of highlight. So I come back with some white into my orange and just pushing a little bit more highlight to create more volume again on my cape. In order to clean my different surfaces and to start my level 3 painting, I'm going to clean with my airbrush with some few white and after that with some few black on the different surfaces. This time I'm going to make the same kind of things, but this time for the shadow with some matte black from Army Painter color for airbrush. Now we are going to have a better Othersus lightning effect by using some red P-Roll from Liquitex first, and after some demonic yellow for the part we are going to be the more powerful in terms of light. By the way, I'm going to push more red on the cape. And now, with some demonic yellow, I'm going to push again my highlight into my Othersus lightning effect. And now, with some red, we are going to come back on the OSL part to make something more smooth and more clean. So we dilute a lot of reds to have something very thin and making some layer and step by step trying to have a better OSL. This time with some cold yellow, I'm going to come back and pushing again and again the different light on my Othersus lightning. And now I'm going to adding just a few points of white into my yellow, just to adding a last point of highlight. And now again to clean more and more my non-metallic metal part, I'm going to pushing more highlight on the different edges to create more contrast and a more clean non-metallic metal effect. Remember to push some white on every edges, even if this edges is a little bit into the shadow. And try to have the more thin line you can. So once again, we are going to come back with some black color directly to push more contrast and create some transition and a distinction between the different parts of the armor. And by the way, I'm going to apply a second layer on the base after I do everything of that. So during the process, I take a look, and finally this part is going to be some tissue. So I'm going to apply some red and do the same step than for the cape. So it's going to be red, and I'm going to push shadow in black, and directly I'm going to apply some highlighting on all the different parts. So for the highlighting, I'm just going to mix just some few yellow to my red. So just, I'm not going to highlight too much this part, because if I push too much yellow, so it's going to go in conflict with my other source lighting effect. So I prefer to push my shadow by using dark sea blue into the recesses. Remember to dilute a lot your dark sea blue because it's a very covering color. So now I'm going to apply on the horns he have on the head, on the helmet, some Dumbleborn, just to push this color. And by the way, I'm going to create some other touch of this color, just to have some reminder of this color on other part of my minis. I'm just going to add a little point of white to my color, just to pushing a little bit more highlight on this color. That's not necessarily work, so I prefer to go back and working with some flat earths who are going to be a more neutral color. I'm just going to push more blue, dark sea blue on the end of the horns. So with my dark sea blue, I come back and I just push some layer, so it's going to create more distinction and a cold and hot effect between the armor. With the blue is going to be more cold, and the different OSL effects are going to be more hot. Remember to jelly a lot your dark sea blue because it's very, very, very covering. And by the way, I'm going to push a little bit more my shadow into the cape, just with again some dark sea blue, very dilute. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I really hope you enjoy a lot. And by the way, you can always give me your feedback by comment this tutorial. See you very soon for the next tutorial. It's going to be probably about the scenario we are included into the HeroQuest box. See you for the next tutorial. Bye bye.